I'd like to welcome you to the October 7th, 2021 Board of Public Works and Safety meeting. Roll call, please. Here.
Here. Here.
Are there any conflict of interest statements from the board?
No, sir. No, sir.
No. Approval of the minutes of the meeting of September 30th, 2021.
I make a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 5, bid openings. There are none. Item 6, matters from department heads or their representatives. Nothing? Okay. Moving into correspondence. Item A, correspondence received from Mr. Dean Button, Capital Improvement Board, requesting $181,575 of CIB funding be allocated for design, engineering services for the Holman Avenue Complete Streets design.
Mr. President, Board, Mr. Gordish is here on behalf of Mr. Button. I'll let him speak in a second. This is simply, as you know, the downtown Hammond, especially Holman Avenue, is being reconstructed pursuant to the Jeff Speck plan. Phase 1 is between Sibley and Russell. This is going to be, A and B are Phase 2, which is between Russell and Douglas, and it's split into 2 segments, Russell to Clinton and then Clinton to Douglas. So we'd request your approval. I don't know if Mr. Gordish has anything else to add.
The only comment I would have is A is 80-20 split for the entire project, but not the engineering. Whereas B is going to be locally funded totally, but the engineering will be locally funded.
You should have the green sheets.
We do.
Everything went through the board and it's all set in stone. So I would
Okay.
recommend approval.
So in regard to item A, we do have the green sheet. It has been signed. It's been signed by the city controller, the mayor, as well as Mr. Button, city engineer.
Okay. Are we going to do A, B, C separately?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll make a motion to approve Mr. Button's request.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Item B, correspondence received from Mr. Dean Button, Capital Improvement Board, requesting $136,745 of CIB funding be allocated for design engineering services for the Holman Avenue Phase 2 design, Russell Street to Clinton Street with American Structure Point and corresponding agreement submitted for approval. And you already spoke to this on item A, Mr. Smith. Okay.
Correct. I think Mr.
Okay.
Wolverton's here for structure.
Okay.
Okay.
We've had discussions with them, so.
Yeah, we do have a green sheet. Again, city controller signed off, mayor signed off, and Dean Button is signed off.
Make a motion to approve Mr. Button's request.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item C, correspondence received from Mr. Dean Button, Capital Improvement Board, requesting $1,562.81 of CIB funding be allocated for replacement of signal head and addition of asphaltic joint sealant for the change order numbers 2, 3, and 4. Purdue Refuge Island with First Group Engineering, Inc., and corresponding contract submitted for approval. Mr. Gordish.
It's basically just adding a few items that were found to be needed in a project. One of the change orders for additional time because of some delays by NIPSCO, so I would recommend approval.
And once again, the green sheet does have the city controllers, the mayors, and Dean Button's signatures.
Make a motion to approve Mr. Button's request.
Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item D, correspondence received from Chief of Police William Short requesting approval of the resignation from Correctional Officer Stephen Gonzalez, effective the closing date of September 11th, 2021, reinstatement from administrative leave on personal issue, and the transfer of Lieutenant Patrick Ficari from Patrol Traffic Division to Community Affairs effective September 30th, 2021.
Make a motion to approve Chief Short's request.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's quite cavalier, you got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item E, correspondence received requesting a rental registration hearing.
Okay. I will make a motion to set that hearing for October 21st of 2021.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 8, matters from board members.
Two things here. First of all, I have an agreement to rehabilitate property located at 2650 162nd Place, the garage. Is there anything to say?
Right. Mr. Farrell, would you have any knowledge of the
The
rehab?
rehabilitation agreement for 2650?
Oh,
160. Yeah, 162nd Place.
That's me, I'm sorry.
Yep, that's okay.
This is a request by Mr. Luter to, it should be garage only, I believe.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So it's been requested by Mr. Luter and the owner. It should be signed, hopefully.
It is.
It requests its approval.
Okay. I will make a motion to approve the agreement.
I second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then I also have here a EMS fee authorization form from Acumed Group.
Which is, Kevin's going to comment.
Yeah, this is just a follow-up, Mr. President and Board, from the ordinance that was just passed by the City Council, signed by the mayor. We'd request its approval. It's just an administrative form by our vendor for EMS billing.
Okay. Then I will make a motion to approve the authorization form.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving right along, item 9, new business. Item A, order to rescind and release order to demolish regarding property located at 1127 170th Place, submitted for approval.
Mr. President and Board, I'm happy to report that this property has been completely rehabbed and passed all inspections, and we'd request its removal.
Okay.
Then I'll make a motion to rescind and release the order to demolish the property located at 1127 170th Place.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item B, disposal authorization submitted by the Hammond Police Department.
Fine group.
Indeed.
I will make a motion to approve the disposal authorizations.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item C, right-of-way permit submitted for approval from Engineering Department. Mr. Gordish gives a thumbs up from the crowd.
Okay, then I will make a motion to approve the right-of-way permits.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item D, garage sale permit submitted for approval. Bam.
Knocked it out of the park.
Like Chris Johnson from the Dodgers last night.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yes.
I mean, that's what's good about baseball, man, right? Cardinals are always tough, man. They just are.
Okay.
We are good. Okay?
Make a motion to approve the garage sale permits.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item E, rental registration hearing for property located at 7036 Chestnut Avenue. Mr. Villegas?
Come on up, sir. Yeah.
7036 Chestnut, right?
Yes.
What's that name?
I have 7036 Chestnut.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Is that the next one?
So I have a Cecilia Vasquez as a new owner of the property.
Yes, my wife.
It looks like she purchased the property back in July 1st of 21. She has a home address listed as 514 Highland Street. And then it's a single-family home, owes for 2021. I would just like to ensure that the Vasquez's fill out the homestead tax exemption change form because it is still applied and assessed to the property. And I understand because of recent purchase, it may take some time to reflect as far as like 2021 payable 22. We would just like to make sure that we don't have rental property that's having a homestead tax exemption assessed for years to come as we've seen with other properties in the past.
Do you understand that, sir? What you
Yeah.
just explained?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is, so it's a new property. I never was a rent. It's a new property we purchased. And I apologize, I don't know, really, we got only 30 days to registration, so I come in a little late to make the registration. I apologize for being a little late, but I know we need a registration, that's why I'm here. But I'm being a little late, 3 weeks.
Do you own it?
We're just looking at 2021, right?
Correct. Do you own any other properties in the city?
I got one property, but I got registration already, yes.
Okay.
To do away with the tax exemption on the homestead exemption, right?
Yeah, he just, if he could just fill this out before he leaves today, then we can ensure it gets sent to Lake County to make sure everything's above board.
Okay, and you're good
Be
with
my
waiving-
request.
good with waiving it? then?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to make a motion to waive the late fee, and also, sir, you have to make sure you fill out the tax exemption form before you leave today. You understand that?
Not really?
Homestead, he'll explain it to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I
That's my,
second.
All those in favor?
aye?
Aye. Item F, rental registration hearing for property located at 4603-05 Oak Avenue. Mr. Price? Mr. Price? Yeah.
The property at 4603 through 5 Oak Avenue, Mr. Price is the only listed owner of record, according to Lake County. However, our records indicate that the last time the property was registered was in 2017. So, this is a 2-unit property, and then that the rental registration for 2018, 19, 20, and 21 would be owed at this point in time. Typically, we refer to the dismissers. Typically, these properties that owe more than 2 years, we would ask for to refer to dismissers, but I'd give Mr. Price an opportunity maybe to explain the situation.
And it's been owned for how long?
He's the only owner of record.
Going back years?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's owned it for years.
Okay.
Can I speak for my father?
Absolutely, certainly.
He's well, he's been,
Sir, I'm sorry, if you could just please state your name.
my name
and
is
your
Dwight
address,
Livingston Price,
Okay.
and where
and
you live.
I live at 5155 Cleveland Street in Gary, Indiana.
Okay.
I helped him take care of the last couple of, 3 or 4 years, I've helped him take care of the property, and, because his health has been declining.
Where does he live? I'm sorry. Where does
He lives in 622 Fox Point Drive in Chesterton. Okay, I think where the problem was, because he didn't receive anything that did, tell him that because if he owed it, my father would pay it. He always pays everything. But the problem was is that he's moved since then, and I think that the bill or whatever it is that, that tells him that he has to pay it went to his house that he lived in Wheatfield, because he's just moved from Wheatfield the last 4 or 5 years. Since 2017, I think, is whenever he first moved out there.
So he's never paid it?
No, he's always paid it,
I've always paid
but
for it.
it's just, like I said, his health has, I've just here in the last 3 years have been helping him take care of it because his health has been going down, his memory and everything else, you know what I mean? If he seen something come in through the mail, he would have known, you know what I mean? But as far as remembering things, he's not, like I said, his health has been declining, especially the last 4 or 5 years, rapidly.
And so it's been a rental property for roughly how long?
Oh,
But no,
how long have you been renting it out, Dad? Like 20 years or something?
2007 was the first registration that we've had on
I
file.
didn't know you had to register.
Well, I mean, at some point he did, and I understand, obviously, he's got a memory issue and stuff, I get that. What I would say is though, that, obviously, he registered at one point, we have an ordinance in place, there's not an invoice that goes out, right? It's just a postcard that goes out, and if he would move, then someone should have updated us. because
Well,
that's-
I've only been helping him, I don't have any experience, I just started helping him because his health has been getting so bad. I've had to go out to Chesterton, and I live in Gary, I have to drive back and forth to take care of him all
Who
the
takes care
time.
of collecting the rent?
They send it through Zelle, he's got an app on his phone where they send it automatically.
due every year at April 15th, and it's a 2-unit.
Okay.
And do you know about the issue we had with the electric out there last month?
Yeah, well, that's what we're trying to, you know,
I can't even get to,
that's when we found out about it, is whenever he come in to take care of the electric situation. My dad has never had a problem with taking care of any of his bills. He's always paid his bills. If he knows he's got something, he pays it on time. So I guess mainly this could fall on me for the last 3 years because of the fact that I've been trying to take care of it, but I don't know everything I'm supposed to have to do to help him to take care of everything. So now what we're gonna, you know, we're trying to figure out how to go from here as far as me handling everything for him, you know? So,
How many years we got? 18, 19? How many years, Nick?
Yeah, the last time it was registered was in 2017, so it'd be 2 units per year. It would be a total of $4,040 is what's over with all the late fees.
So it would be $10 a year for 18, 19, 20, and 21, so that's 40. You know, I'd suggest a fine of, you know, due to the situation, I'd suggest a fine of $250 if they're going to register it because of the health condition of this gentleman. And that way we can.
and I promise I'll get it taken care of, you know?
250
we can't even get,
Per unit.
per unit. Well, it'd still be 500 per unit though.
Well, right, but it should be 1,000 a year it'd be 500 and 500 per year.
So just do one of the units for 1 year is your
One unit
recommendation?
for 1 year, just due to the circumstances, my recommendation.
Can I also add this in, that he hasn't gotten rent on it for the last year because of whenever the pandemic started and they did the person who was renting the back house stopped paying rent, and she lived there for almost a year without paying the rent.
Yeah, and I mean, unfortunately, right, that's between you and the tenant.
Right, well, that's what I was saying, is that we're probably gonna have to go after her, but I just didn't know if that, he wanted me to make sure to bring
Still
something
owe, you
back.
can get a judgment against her in court, you know, whatever.
Right, if we could find her, I mean, she's left out in the middle of the night, the people in the front house even said she packed her stuff up in the middle of the night and
I
left
have
on
a
it, so.
social security number, but I don't have an.
Well, sir,
don't know
I
where
think at
she's
this point, you're going from a possible fine of $4,040 to $540 because of the situation with your dad.
Well, I appreciate
The
it.
only thing I would say is going forward, if you're going to take responsibility for that, it's your duty then to make sure it's registered every year.
I agree, I'm with you 100%. If I just was checking his mail, actually, we didn't even know we had court today until I checked his mail yesterday for him and happened to come across the letter, and we, you know.
Yeah, I can't read.
It's been stated many times, that reminder is only sent out as a courtesy.
Okay.
It's your
Well, I know
job to
this
make
now.
sure.
I mean,
okay,
I didn't
just-
know this
just keep that in
before.
And
mind.
as a condition upon this agreement, if the board accepts my recommendation, it needs to have a completed registration form, the correct one filled out.
With the address and everything.
Yeah, so that we can then update our files, so that he'll get the postcard and send it to your address.
Okay, that's fine,
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, I'd rather it to be that way, because I'm doing that with his doctors and everything, they're all starting to send everything to me instead of,
Okay, so my recommendation then is going to be for 2018 to apply the late fee for one of the units and waive the late fee for the other unit. For 19, 20, and 21, to waive the late fees for both units for all 3 years. And also that you complete a registration form with your address, his address, so we know who we're dealing with.
now can I do that right out here?
He'll
Okay,
explain it to you.
okay.
And then you can pay that at the close of today's meeting if you'd like.
Okay, I don't know if he's got enough on it.
You can work that out too,
Okay,
so.
okay.
How much, I
All
don't
right,
know.
that's it. Yeah, don't worry, Dad.
Thank you.
You got it, you're welcome.
Is that it?
Appreciate it.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Item 10, old business. Item A, status, Jimenez Auto Repair.
Good morning, welcome back. Good morning, Board. As you know,
Morning.
last time we were here, I think Mr. Molina was with you all. Yes. And then we were waiting for a status on their discussion with Mr. Poland.
Right.
And I believe Mr. Kearney was involved, and Mr. Novak at the planner's office. So this is the update.
Okay, so with Mr. Molina, we have not been able to get a hold of him. So I think we're gonna have to drop him as our lawyer because, we haven't, I've been in contact with Brian Poland, but he was out like, I believe, 2 weeks from then since we had the audience. And then after that, Molina was supposed to get in touch with him and we were supposed to get a date, in order to get some paperwork to him, on architectural work. But I haven't gotten a hold of Molina, and I've been in contact with Brian Poland early this week, but he said that he was going to be out for some time over this period of the weekend into this early week. So he said if...
Has there been any contact with Mr. Molina's office? I mean, we sent a notification to him as well.
Yeah.
for today.
When was that sent? I thought we had like a 30 or 60-day date, didn't we?
Was it sent on that August 5th date on the 10th?
They did a letter.
Well, I mean, this probably was, it's dated August 5th, 2021, but
About 1 week.
Thursday, October 7th, 9 o'clock. Okay, I see.
It was a 60-day date.
Yeah, right. It doesn't say.
Yeah, so I'm concerned that it's starting to slow down, and I think the upside is that I think that there's been significant effort by the owners on 4900 block of Hammond. Have either of you had any chance to?
No issue, no, we haven't had any issues.
We haven't heard anything through the fire department at all.
So we still obviously have the business license, as you know, there's multiple
Right.
business licenses there. We'd like to get them into this new property. I think we probably need to just set a short date, give them an opportunity to either keep Mr. Molina or find another attorney to help.
Yeah.
But then also maybe request Mr. Poland also the next status. That way at least we can get an update from him.
I mean, what, in your own view, what is the status for you going forward? What does it look like for you?
For us, we're doing everything as possible. It just slowed down because we weren't able to get a hold of Molina, and Molina hasn't been able to get a hold of Brian.
Okay.
I mean, I spoke with Brian early this week, and he told me that, you know, he's able to get us in sometime next week and get us something situated. But then again, he said that due to him dealing with lawyer, he wasn't able to deal with me. So it goes again where I need to get somebody else in
Okay.
here.
So 30 days?
I was going to say a 3-week or a 30-day date.
Gives them time to find another
Yep.
attorney if
Get
they're.
another attorney and talk with Mr. Poland. And then also, Linda, can you?
So November, like, 11th,
Well, that's Veterans Day, so.
October 18th.
Okay, we'll go to 18th. November 18th?
October 18th? Excuse me, November 18th?
All right.
Okay.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Then I'm going to make a motion to set this over for status to November 18th, 2021, and request that Brian Poland also be present that day.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item B, status Umberto Prado barricades at 420 and 173rd Street.
I think that was dealt with at last week's meeting. I thought Mr. Button, or 2 weeks ago, did Mr. Button report that they were able to?
I mean, Public Works reported back to him, he didn't like the city's response as to what they felt he should do, so we asked him to come back here again. I've talked to Mr. Poland about it. He said there's other people he needs to talk to before he talks to the Board of Public Works and Safety. And hopefully I was able to try to communicate that to him today, but he's not here. In essence, well, you familiar with it, Kev? Where?
Yep.
Okay, he's wanting, I think, my personal opinion, he's wanting some city property to eliminate people from cutting.
Yeah, he's worried about the cut through behind, I
He
think,
is.
right?
and,
To go to Harrison.
We kind of told him, you know, you could fence the building on the west side, up against city property, but he hasn't responded back to
And we sent a letter to him, Linda, to appear? An email to appear? Okay, well, I mean, I think there's no obligation for us to do
So
anything
we'll
at this
address it
point.
if he comes back to us,
Correct.
but I don't know what to do going forward outside of what we've already told him.
Yep, there's nothing else to do
Okay.
for the board.
So we don't
Thank you,
need a
sir.
motion for that one, right?
No.
Item C, status, changes to Doty Street.
I was hoping to hear back, because obviously the council meets on Tuesday, and I know the mayor was hopeful that the various agencies of the city, I think last week we asked police, fire, streets. So, wow, they're all right here. To,
Our department's responded, sir.
So look at, they have.
Yes, we have.
Who did you respond to?
Law department. Linda.
Do we have a response?
We don't have any issues with it. We have no
Okay.
issues with it.
Okay, I'll speak with Linda about that because I haven't seen it, and we'll make sure they get that down to the mayor. And then does police?
Well, I will go on the record right now and let you know that the police department's fine with it also.
Okay,
So,
and Mr. Perez, how's Public Works feel about it?
Gary, there's no issues with
All right, this is a great report.
bada bing, bada boom.
This is how I like to get things done. All right, so, and I don't think engineering has any problem with it, and I know Councilman Torres is here, and it's in his district, and I think Councilman Torres is in favor of it, correct? All right.
Mine's in writing.
Yours is, good idea.
You're welcome, sir.
I'll report down to the mayor. I think Columbus Day is Monday, so I'll have to let him know otherwise, but I'll let him know that there's been no issue. And I'll also, if Mr. Gordish, if you could please ask Mr. Button to summarize the findings of the various departments and get that report to the mayor before Tuesday morning, that would be appropriate. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 11, meetings open to the public. Anyone here care to speak for this body? Meetings open to the public.
Good morning, Keith McKinley, and that's my son, Asante McKinley. I'm here about the property at 820 Bauer Street.
Okay, so 820 Bauer, if my recollection's right, was owned by a gentleman named Bovar?
Bovin, John Bovin.
There you go. And he came before the board. I think we had a demolition order, and then we found out that it was owner occupied, or not owner occupied. There was an occupant there, maybe.
Yeah, that's
They were going to enter into either then there was an inspection. You may not know all this, Mr.
Right, I do.
An inspection, and then they were going to enter a rehab agreement, but I don't think that ever happened. This is probably like early
Is this
summer.
where the mom lived in Michigan? No?
Good question. I don't remember that.
Okay. Maybe it's another
Bovar,
one.
is that right? Bovar, I think.
Bovin, B-O-V-A-N.
Oh, I had a B-O-V-A-R, B-O-V-A-N, Mr. Bowman. Yeah, and he was local, I think. So I'll let you, Mr. McKinley, take it from there. I'm not sure where we're at.
Well, my attorney, Bob Golden, he was the one that told me about the demolition. I didn't even know about the demolition. He contacted me and said the house was slated. And so I did reach out to John Bovin to see if he was going to redeem it. But the redemption period came up September 15th, and Bob Golden said he was going to go forward with the petition for the deed. But I called the inspection office, and I spoke with, I think, was it Kelly? Kelly, and Kelly said I needed to come here. He said to see if I could talk about keeping the place. Currently, we have 12 properties already. We got 9 already in Hammond, and we got 3 in East Chicago. And out of that 9 we got in Hammond, 7 of them were 2 years vacant. And so I was really surprised that this house, which still have utilities on, was being demoed. So I got the taxes already paid for November 10th on all 12 properties. Also, we have the funds for the rehab. We just want to make sure we don't lose our money in the house being tore out.
So, Mr. McKinley, let me ask you, what is your intention to rehab the property and sell it, rehab it and rent it?
Rehab and rent. We only buy houses and we only rent. We don't sell any of them.
Okay. I don't know, Nick, are you familiar with the other 6 houses he's got in the city, or 9, I'm sorry?
Here, well, I don't know if he does, but here are I printed out all the
Addresses? Okay, great.
right there, and you can those are the. Now 3 of the houses we have in an LLC, which is Leyendo.
Okay. So I guess, here's what I would say. Generally, not specifically to 820 Bauer, generally we tell tax sale purchasers that you risk the investment because if the city's going to demo it because of neighbor issues or because it's been on the demo list for a long time or whatever, there's a risk. Saying that, however, I would say that if the person that is requesting a stay of the demolition has, 1, a good track record, 2, is willing to invest money to rehab it, we always like to see properties rehab versus us having to knock them down and have a vacant lot, right? We want to see reinvestment in the city. So maybe what we could do is Mr. McKinley could leave some contact information with Mr. Farrell, who could relay it to Mr. Kearney, and we could set this over for status for maybe 2 weeks.
Sounds great.
And then if that's okay with your schedule, sir?
Well, it has to be after the 20th, going down to Florida for.
Okay, well, we don't want to interrupt your Florida trip, so let's do it in November, let's do it after the 20th then. Maybe whatever that next
So
Thursday is.
the timeline in regards to paying the back due taxes is passed for the current owner, correct?
Redemption period ended, yeah, September
So it's ended,
15th.
so it's yours?
Well,
Not yet.
Not yet.
When's the tax deed? I know there's one today, or maybe there's a cattle call today. When did Mr. Golding let you know when your hearing was going to be after you filed his petition?
well, I asked him, your court date's usually in October, he said for some reason it's December 9th.
Okay, so they'll probably get the deed sometime in February, which I would imagine would be like a spring
Okay.
rehab then.
Yeah.
So what are we trying to accomplish in the next 2 weeks then?
So I need to find out whether or not the permit, for some reason, in my memory, I want to say the permit to demo has been issued to Jan Wrecking. So I need to find that out, okay, number one. And I mean, I just want to let you know, Mr. McKinley, if it has been issued, for all I know, they're out there right now. I don't know, you've probably been by there, it's only a couple
Right,
months
the
away. So
utilities are still on.
I'll check on that. And then if utilities are still on, then that's a good sign, because that means NIPSCO hasn't terminated them yet. I'll check on that. By the time we come back in 2 weeks, I'll have a recommendation from Mr. Kerninger, and Mr. Kerninger will be here, and then we can hopefully work with Mr. McKinney towards a good resolution.
So for October 21st?
That, want to go to the 21st?
21st or
21st, going to do it?
28th?
What about the 28th?
All right.
Okay. Then I'm going to make a motion to set this over for status to October 28th, 2021.
I second.
All those in favor?
Okay, thanks.
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
I can give you my.
Anyone else from the public here to speak? Okay, Mr. Long,
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.